Carl Reid-Jones is the operations manager at Tarawera Station. It's around 2,500 hectares, running 26,000 stock units on the banks of the Hawke River. The farm is part of the Te Awa Hohonu Forest Trust and has only been farmed for the past 20 years. Carl is working to a comprehensive business plan set out by the Trust, with environmental objectives a high priority.
The Trust have set some high targets for us, and that's been the thing that I've always liked about working for Tarawera Station is that, you know, we have targets. Once we've achieved them, I mean, we don't go and set them where they're unachievable, but you know, strive to keep on increasing production. For lambing, you know, 150% lambing, you know, we're at 140 now, so there's still a way to go on the scale, you know. That finishing 10% can be quite a challenge in itself. Challenge of this place, the size and scale of it, you know, the logistics of getting a mob from the very back, which is 12k to the front for certain times of the year. I mean, that's certainly probably our biggest challenge. Other challenges are probably size of mobs and having the correct staff to be able to handle those large mobs. I mean, they are out there by themselves, moving them from paddock to paddock, so you know, you have to have faith and trust in the people you're employing. And also, I suppose, our biggest one is probably our winters. You know, they can be quite harsh, and if you actually have some nice fine sunshine throughout it, unfortunately, if there's snow about on the hills around us, well, that just creates frost, and with us having our own little microclimate in here, it can drop to -10. Initially, we were an Angus herd, just with the target set by the Trust and the TB issue in the area. We've changed our breeding policy from a straight Angus to a Simmental over the Angus and then a stabiliser back over that progeny. Our aim is to produce a cow that's 550 kilos, producing a calf half its body weight, and then also being able to grow that progeny on to that 14 to 18 months of age and go on to the works.
Tarawera Station's one of our core businesses. It's 2,700 hectares, almost 2,700 hectares of our total hectareage of land of 20,000 hectares. The balance is made up of about 8,000 hectares of land that's in a lease under production radiata forest, and the balance is undeveloped. It's a native block that is reasonably isolated, adjoining but reasonably isolated. The ownership structure is a 438 Māori trust, Te Awa Hohonu Forest Trust, which administers the whole of our land holding in 3 business centres basically, the forestry joint venture and the farming Tarawera Station, and of course our undeveloped land, which we're also doing some environmental work on.
Yeah, well, you can just see the trees and stuff have started to regenerate a bit.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
There's approximately 900 shareholders in the trust. That's probably on the low end because a lot of our owners haven't succeeded to their deceased parents or grandparents. But that's the current known ownership and shareholders of the trust. We pay a dividend to our shareholders, and there's 2 forms of dividend we have. We have what we call a commercial dividend, which is a distribution that's made from their profits on the basis of the shareholding of each individual shareholder. Then there's a social dividend that we pay in terms of education grants to applicants for tertiary education and contributions to the local marae and other areas that we feel appropriate. Well, our goals have been basically to increase our profitability to around about $350 a hectare, EFS. Our production targets around 150% lambing from our ewes and 90% lambing from our ewe hoggets. It's a breeding property. We're breeding a lot more stock now than we were 15 years ago. To reach our objectives, we need to have people of the calibre that Carl is, and we're very proud to have someone like that working for us. He's part of our whānau. And so is his family, and we value the sort of capability that Carl brings to our business.
Currently we're about a third of the way to the back of the farm, just on a terrace above the Hawke River, which is our boundary. We actually run 12k with the boundary of the Hawke River right down to where the Waipanga stream comes in. We're running mixed stage Highlander ewes as the mob behind us. 13,500 in total. It's back from our normal carrying capacity each year of 14,500 due to the drought. Stock manager and myself do a farm tour, around the whole place once a month, certainly when we can, and at strategic times when we definitely need to be keeping an eye on the feed levels. That basically determines, where we're at, where we're going. Fertiliser has been a huge thing for the Trust a long time before I came on board. They saw the benefits of increasing fertility in the soil, and I mean it's proof in the pudding now. I mean we're now our winters seem to, not only because of climate, but if we have a dry spell, the pastures recover extremely fast and get up and get moving again, and it also seems to pull us out of the winter a little bit quicker. Well, up until this year we've been putting on between 350, that was when I first came here, slowly reducing it back to about 300 just under last year. With the price of fertiliser getting so high, we just stuck to the same amount in the budget and just cut back a bit on actual inputs. The large number on the farm, 14,500 ewes on a normal year. And yeah, it's a big paddock still. I mean, our paddocks range from 30 hectares is probably one of our smallest on the hill country, right up to 65 hectares. And for safety, for mobs and whatnot, I mean, that's all down to staff as well, and capable staff currently, and certainly in the past as well. We've certainly targeted those sort of people.
Our trust has to take a long view. We're here not just for my lifetime and my children's lifetime, it's for the shareholders for the next 50, 100,000 years. So our objectives are that profitability might be compromised in the short term, but in terms of the long-term objective, we want to try and incorporate all of those values within our objectives.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.